It's a beautiful morning here at the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center. Hey, good morning, Bailey. I am about to drive up to Oklahoma City to the Skirvin Hotel to see LaQuincey Reed. He's going to show us his new studio they have set up there. You know, he's the current artist in residence there. You want to come?
Yeah, I do.
All right, well, let's go. Hey, it looks like I finally got here to the Skirvin. I'm just a few minutes late, but let's go inside and see if we can find LaQuincey. Hey, LaQuincey, I'm here.
Come on in.
LaQuincey, I'm so glad you invited me to come up for this. I can't believe this great studio that they've got for you here at the Skirvin.
Well, I'm excited to have you guys here. I really appreciate you just coming down and visiting me.
Oh yeah, well, you know, it's not too much of a drive from the Heritage Center in Duncan, but I'm kind of blown away, so I love what you've done with the place.
Thanks.
I'm guessing it was kind of just bare walls?
Yeah, the studio was completely empty. They repainted the floor and the walls for me. And then I kind of asked my family to get some stuff for me.
Yeah.
And brought some stuff from home and kind of decorated it to get it to look semi-decent.
Right, well, I think it's a workplace and a show place, so it's probably a little bit much, you know, combining the two, but yeah, I think this is pretty awesome. What I'd kind of like to do is walk around and see some of these pieces, because there are a lot more here than you brought to Duncan when you came to the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center. So how about if we start over here with this shelf? So yeah, these are very interesting to me, and especially this green right here really caught my eye. Tell me about her. I'm just going to say her.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
There are two hers on here. So when I sculpted these was around the time we were having a lot of the tornadoes in Oklahoma City, and they were really close to where I was living at. And one of the things that was really interesting to me, or frightening to me, or you know, just had so many emotions kind of going through me at the time, was the fact that we could have such calm, and then from that calm we would go to like a tempest or just such big disasters, and you know, people losing their homes and everything like that.
Right.
And then immediately right afterwards, it seems like we would go right back to the calm. So I thought the two were kind of linked together in such a way, and that's what this is representing. Just that time in my life when we were just having so many tornadoes, and I was very close to a couple of them. Wow,
yeah, that is so terrifying. But you're right, the way nature brings those storms, and there's even the saying, the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
And but then once it's gone, it's completely still.
Yeah.
There might be just, you know, disaster behind, but yeah, that is so true. Now I'm guessing this one is, I don't know, there's like little marks and things written on it. Are those little messages you leave yourself, or?
So this was a life-size piece that I sculpted, and on that life-size piece, I took it to the foundry. This is a small version of it, and the foundry marked out where they wanted me to cut him up and make individual molds for them to make the wax, and then they would cast those individual pieces. They don't do everything in one section or one whole piece. They do everything in sections. And so these were the marks that were guides to me to let me know where to cut everything.
Right, especially if this is really life-size.
Yeah.
So this is like the size of a person.
Yeah, he's 6 feet tall.
So is this like a maquette, or would a maquette be actually in bronze of a bigger piece? Is that what a maquette is?
Yeah, a maquette is a smaller version of a larger piece. Some artists, especially back a long time ago, they would sculpt multiple maquettes. They would do one about this size probably, and then they would do one maybe at half the size it was supposed to be, and then maybe one at life size if you're doing one that's monumental.
Tell me about these busts here.
So these are just busts of some friends. This is a friend of mine, This is a bust of my mother, my sister,
Oh, wow.
and my brother is at the bottom. And
Oh, you brought
Yeah.
him with you to
Yeah.
the Heritage Center, yeah.
and then this one is a Frederick Douglass.
I thought that's who that was. Yeah, I can see that. This was from a life-size piece.
Yes.
Is that the life-size piece that you have over there that you're repurposing by chance?
Yeah, I have the foam from the life-size piece, and I'm gonna change it into a different one. So I'm cutting them up and repurposing them and giving them a different pose and different face and everything.
Right. Well, I'd kind of like to go over there and see that, and you could explain that process because that seems really interesting. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
Wow. So this really is like body parts here.
Yeah.
So I think we can see like the wire and foam and all the things, and then this is the clay that you add to the outside that you actually do the sculpting
Yeah.
with.
So the foam acts as a way for us to kind of bulk it all out, and it's lightweight, so it's not so heavy, and that's why we use the foam. And then the clay, you can get the nuances of the details and the texture. Mainly the foam is there because it's light. Like I said, it's light, and it kind of bulks out everything.
Well, I hadn't really thought about that, but you do have to fill in so it looks like a body.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes so much sense. So, and you wouldn't want this whole thing to be clay. That would weigh so many pounds.
Yeah.
So is the base like a piece of wood or something
So-
that you covered with clay, or?
Yeah, it's actually a piece of foam that's covered with clay.
So it's even like,
Yeah, and then I'll use some spray foam as a kind of a glue to attach the parts. So
okay, yeah.
I've moved and adjusted the feet. That foot I've slid back, and that foot I've slid forward, and I cut away the clay to expose the foam, and I used the spray foam to glue the two pieces together.
So when you were at the Heritage Center, you were talking about how you use calipers and all those things to get the lengths of the body, and all of a sudden it occurred to me that, I mean, I know you have wire and things in here, but you have to have the balance, right, for the thing to not just naturally tip over. I hadn't even thought about that, but
Well-
that's another reason it has to be so carefully measured.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
So a good piece of sculpture,
Uh-huh.
some people say it should be able to stand up on its own, and typically that's true. And it's not a hard fast rule all the time, but typically that's true. But I also have a pipe up here at the top to kind of act as a way to further stabilize him, so he doesn't want to tip over or move or shift.
Right.
So we have all these different things to kind of help you bulk it out, make it firm and stand up, and keep it from wanting to fall over in case I fall into it or somebody
Right.
knocks it over or tries to knock it over or something.
Right, okay, so you're not just like cutting this thing apart for fun.
No.
You have a reason that you're doing this. So tell us about that. And is this kind of repurposing that sculptors normally do? You take apart something that you made, and this would be like totally breaking the mold, right?
Yeah. Sometimes sculptors do that. Sometimes they want to start fresh from scratch and not repurpose. Everybody has their own different working techniques and methods, but try to be as resourceful and reusable of everything that you have, because things are expensive, and you got to think about that as well.
So are you going to make another life-size sculpture?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Still haven't figured out who's going to be up just yet. I just got the gesture, and I'm talking to several organizations and seeing if they would like a specific person. But right now I'm just trying to get the feel of a person, and we'll go from there.
So are you, like, I'm modeling
Yeah.
just to see if I might be.
Well, it's a man, so.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Well, this is a really cool insight. And so this is one of the projects you're going to be doing while you're here
Yeah.
in the studio. And you're the artist in residence here at the Skirvin for how long?
I'll be here until the end of September.
Okay.
And this is through the Skirvin and Paseo Arts Association here in Oklahoma City. And COVID kind of messed up their schedule, but typically they have an artist here for a year. And they'll come in and they'll have this as their studio, and they'll be working in here and doing their artwork. And yeah, that's what they'll do for the year.
Wow. So in that amount of time, was like 7 months or so?
7.5 months.
How many pieces are you kind of hoping to produce while you're here?
Well, I'm going to try and get a lot done. I have several shows that I'm going to be submitting to. I've got different organizations that want maquettes similar to what we looked at over there.
Oh, okay.
And they want maquettes for possible monuments. So there's that stuff. And then on top of that, my own personal gallery work that I sell outside of the public stuff that I'll be working on. So 15, 20 pieces of work is what I plan on possibly trying to finish up.
And one of those might be the slab size?
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds ambitious, but at the same time, I'm not really, I don't really know how much time it takes to make. And I'm sure that depends, but is this kind of nice to have like this away place where you can work on things and just, or is this a little bit unusual for you? I mean, the windows and everything, you're kind of like...
Yeah, I'm kind of in a fishbowl, but
Right.
It's really nice to have a space to work in that's not cloistered away. You're out in the public's eye, so that's really good. Also, just being able to, get away from my studio from home and kind of shutting down everything that's going on at the house and being able to work in a dedicated space that's strictly for art is great as well.
Yeah, I bet that is. Well, I think a congratulations is in order because this seems like a big honor and a great boost for your career. I mean, this residency, so good for you. I'm excited, and also, I mean, the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center might be benefiting a little bit from some of the personal pieces you make because you're going to be one of our featured artists in 2023. So, yeah, we're going to be on the win side of this thing too.
Yeah, some of the work that I create in here will definitely be going into that show. So I'm looking forward to making things and getting them out there as well.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Super. Well, there are a few more things around here that I'm kind of interested in. I am noticing that this is all clay over here, so this must be like the work side. The other side we were on is more the show side.
Yeah.
Do you have pieces you'll be selling?
Yeah, everything that's out and over there when you first walk in, everything there is for sale. You can even pre-purchase one of the works that's back here. Yeah.
That is very interesting. And let's look at Abraham Lincoln here. So, has this been cast in bronze? This
No.
Abraham Lincoln bust?
No, I did this one kind of as a way to challenge myself to sculpt somebody that everybody knows.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to tell you that it was Abraham Lincoln.
You did not. You did not. I could tell.
So that was the purpose of this one, and it's still in clay. I haven't made a mold on it. Eventually I'll make a mold when I get around to it.
Right.
I don't have anybody that really wants it. I'm kind of looking and seeing if anybody would really like to have it.
It is awesome. The detail is so great. I'm remembering the 360 thing that you mentioned earlier at the Heritage Center, but that is really, I feel like you just really nailed it.
Well, thank you.
Did you feel like you did too?
I think I did a pretty good job. Abraham Lincoln's one of those guys that a lot of sculptors have sculpted, and there are some really good sculptures of him, and I feel like I did a decent job. There's some guys that I really respect that sculpted Abraham Lincoln have done a really good job.
Right, true, yeah, there's been a lot, but well done. Well, I kind of think looking around here at the Skirvin would be kind of fun. Checking out the digs you have for a while. So, did you say someone's going to come and walk us around a little bit?
Yep, we have somebody from the Skirvin, and they'll be talking to us about the facilities here and the different benefits to staying here at the Skirvin.
Well, I can tell you, the entry is pretty fancy.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, this place is nice. So anyway, well, let's catch up with him and then keep this thing going. What do you think?
Sounds great.
Okay.
All right. Hi, Kyle. So Edie is my friend from Duncan at the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center.
Okay.
And she was wanting a tour of the Skirvin.
Okay, well, I mean, you came to the right person first off.
All
So
right.
I'm the Director of Operations. I've been here for a little over 4 years, and part of everything we do is knowing the unique history of the Skirvin itself. It's obviously one of Oklahoma City's most historic buildings with a great story behind it. The lobby was one of the biggest focal points during the remodel. Since then, we've had to change the lobby floors. There's still sections of the original lobby floor that are about 115 years old.
Wow.
Over right in front of the red velvet area, which is very unique. A lot of the woodwork has been saved, and when you look up at the ceilings, you'll notice the Bacchus sculptures. Bacchus was the original Roman god of wine and partying.
Right.
And when the hotel first opened up, and through Prohibition, it let people know that this was a safe place to have a drink and have a party when it was considered illegal in Oklahoma at the time.
Okay.
The elevator doors are also original, which you see, the original brass sculptures on it. And the model of the hotel is really is Gothic, English Gothic style. You can see those influences all around. And throughout some of the architecture, you'll notice, especially up on the 14th floor, there's a lot of crests. Pearl Mesta, who was Bill Skirvin's daughter, was very large into traveling. She was the ambassador of Luxembourg for the United States. And so she had a history of collecting different family crests and in certain architecture pieces around, especially on the 14th floor and on the outer masonry work of the building, you'll notice those cool crests placed all over the hotel. There's one of the originals is right above one of our exit doors, which you might look at, where it was uncovered during the renovation, and they never covered it back up. And so it looks a little unfinished, but it's actually a historical crest that we found very cool. We have a history wall right behind us. It shows some past presidents, famous artists, and celebrities who stayed here, from Sammy Davis to James Dean, to the Kennedys. And then we have a very cool Lego sculpture that was donated back to us from the Inasmuch Foundation. This was a fundraiser at one point in time for the state, and whoever bid on it and won it actually was kind enough to bring it back to us this year. So this has been gone for about 10 years, and so it's going to make its permanent home up on the second floor in our space exhibit, which features all of our previous artists in residence, like LaQuincey. So when LaQuincey's done at the hotel after a year, he'll donate a piece of art to us, and it'll be on permanent display in our second floor banquet areas.
Wow, fun. That's awesome. Well, I've heard of the Venetian?
Yes, the
room?
Venetian room. It's on the 14th floor. It's probably the most historical event space in the hotel. They used to have Venetian night parties and fancy dance halls and live big bands, and it was the place to see and be seen in Oklahoma City. It was one of the largest structures at the time that could hold a couple hundred people. It all has original architecture, original chandeliers, and some of it. We can go up there and take a peek at it next if you want.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Let's do that.
Okay, let's go.
Oh my goodness, this place is so beautiful.
It is the most famous event room in the hotel. The Venetian room. It is really over the top, the intricate design. You can see back it was originally built. All the original architecture lines the ceilings. One of the chandeliers is original, and they've all been restored to match. We usually don't tell people which one is, but they can look for themselves. The drapery, the woodwork. Originally, this was a wood floor. Since then, we did have the floor refinished. Underneath it, it would probably upset a lot of people, but underneath this carpet are really gorgeous original hardwood floors from over 110 years ago. But Bill Skirvin was a huge fan of hosting parties and events and live music. They used to host large, big band jazz nights, and food, drink, and all the who's who of Oklahoma City would show up to it. And actually, this year we're going to be recreating one of those and calling it a Venetian night. We'll sell tickets to about 100 special folks, let them come in and experience what it was like in the original days, and kind of pay homage to what the Venetian room was initially built for. We utilize this room for a lot more business meetings and things nowadays than they probably did 100 years ago.
Right. Well, this is a great place. Maybe you could just like come up here for inspiration sometime, LaQuincey, you know.
Definitely.
Kind of running out of ideas.
Well, being an artist, I assure you that you can appreciate the detail in all these ceiling panels and the hand parts. It is really a sight to behold.
It's beautiful. Well, thanks for the
Absolutely. We appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
Anytime. We would love to have you. And maybe you can come experience one of our Venetian nights when we kick those back off.
Oh, I was thinking, I wonder how I could be on one of those 100 ticket lists.
Right?
Thanks a lot,
Thank you
Kyle.
all so much. Thank you.
Man, what a great tour of the place that Kyle gave us.
Yeah, he's been great. He's very helpful.
Yeah.
I look forward to visiting with more of the staff that's here.
Yeah, I bet you'll have a chance to kind of get to know several of the people.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is a place of real beauty. I would think seriously that there'd be plenty of inspiration.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's so much to look at here. It's almost like a hotel with a little bit of a museum in it.
Yeah, that is so true. We didn't even get a chance to kind of stop and look, but it's kind of like a walkway of a museum as far as historical photographs and little keepsake things from the Skirvin from back in the day even. So, this is a really cool place.
Well, I'm glad you got a chance to come and visit.
Me too. Thanks for inviting me up, seriously. But you also issued an invitation, if I'm not mistaken, for the reception that they're hosting for you here.
Yeah.
So when is that?
So they're going to have an opening reception for me March 10th, and that'll be from 4 to 6.
Okay.
It's come and go as you please. You can come and say hi, or you can come and kind of look around and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hope that you come by and say hi to me at the very least before you decide to leave.
Well, you know, if we drive all the way up, we might as well say hi, LaQuincey. I'm putting that on my calendar because I think it sounds like a really fun event, and if it's going to be in all of the super pretty fancy part, I mean, why wouldn't we want to come up for that, right?
Yeah. Have some hors d'oeuvres, get a drink, and say hi and see what I'm up to.
Right, exactly. Who knows what you might have started or finished, or who knows? What is that? A couple of weeks, I guess.
Coming up quick.
Yeah. So okay. Well, listen. Time is getting away. I'm going to have to run and get back to the Heritage Center. But thanks again. It's been a really fun morning.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you on the 10th.
All right.